Yeah, good evening to everyone. Once again, welcome to the Python session. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is exception handling. What do you mean by exception and how can we handle this exception in Python? Right. Before starting that, let me give a practical example so that you will understand very clearly. So let's take, there is ambulance, right? It's an emergency and it must start from let's say LV Nagar, and it must reach to some like Kukatpalli, right? KPHP, let's say KPHP. Within 20 minutes, it must reach to here. Only 20 minutes. Because of Hyderabad traffic, it may not reach, right? If you go through Secunderabad or if you go through Koti or if you choose Mehdipatnam road, okay, whatever it is, irrespective of the route, you cannot reach 20 minutes. It's a kind of live organs, and within 20 minutes, you need to keep it in a hospital or in the fridge so that it won't be disposed. Now, so what happens here is simply the hospital management will take the help of police, traffic police, and civil police, right? So what they do is simply they do two things. One, they'll stop all the vehicles at some location. At every signal, they'll clear the road. First, the police vehicle will go, and after that, ambulance will follow that. And this is one obstacle. Traffic is the one obstacle for the traffic. Let's say traffic is the one obstacle for the speed of ambulance. And second one is there will be some speed breakers, right? These are human interference, and these are the man-made speed breakers, right? And there are some conditions of lack of less fuel, let's say less fuel, and driver is sleepy, some, right? These are the some obstacles to reach the organs from this point to this point. But major points are first traffic. We must clear the traffic, and there is if there is any traffic, we need to clear that so that there is smooth traveling from LB Nagar to KPHP. And second thing, if there are multiple speed breakers, we need to remove that so that it reaches safely and smoothly to KPHP, right? Remember, there are some obstacles. By this story, you need to understand that there are some obstacles. Okay, ignore the spelling mistakes. As I'm writing with the mouse. And obstacles. So what are the obstacles for this one? Of course, traffic, speed breakers, and lack of fuel, and driver is sleepy, all these things. For what? These are the obstacles for what? For smooth and speed of travel, right? We need to go without any obstacle and without any delay. We need to reach KPH. Yeah, that's possible within 20 minutes. If there is no traffic, there is no obstacles, directly we can go with 100 km per hour or 80 km per hour, like that, right? Just keep it in mind. There is some obstacles to stop the flow of or the flow of, or let's say smooth traveling or speed traveling of some particular ambulance. Okay. In the same way, let me take one blue. Yeah. So while we are executing, this is the start of the programming. This is our output. This is input, and this is our output. If there is no error, directly it will give output. Okay, directly it give output if there is no error in between input to output. What is the input between input and output? Simply some code is there, and by some manipulation, some mathematical analysis, or some logics, right? Some business logics like that, right? So after giving the inputs, it must show the output. If it is not giving output, there is something obstacle between input and output. There is something obstacle between input and output. Okay, so what is the case where we cannot get the output? Simply, whenever we get an error. If we get an error in between input to output, then we will not get output, right? That's the reason error is called as obstacle for our smooth execution. Remember that, right? Obstacle. Let's say here, what is the obstacle for our Python code? Error is the obstacle. If there is no error, yes, obviously we'll get the exact output whatever we expect, right? So remember error. Now, to overcome this error, there is a concept called exception. Exception. Okay. Except this error, except this speed breaker, this traffic, just move smoothly. In the same way, except this error, I need to execute the code in the smooth way and smooth termination. Even though error is raising, and I need to handle that one. Even though error is raised, but still I want to execute the entire code. But the problem here is, of course, error is the obstacle, right? If there is an error, there is no output. So we need to accept this code. Exception means without this. Let's accept that one. You can do anything. Except that error, you have to do everything. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Just wait 1 minute. Yeah. Just I receive a call. Okay. Now, so what's happening here is we need to accept this error, that output must show. That output must be shown. Because of this error, we may not get exact output. So just skip that error. Simply skip that error and do the normal flow of execution. That's called exception handling. So we are going to handle these exceptions, nothing but errors. So what are the types of errors we have? Simply, we have two types of errors. One is the syntax error and second one is the runtime error. So in program, with two types of errors, and one is the syntax errors. Second one is the runtime. Syntax errors is nothing but if you are not following the rule of Python, if you are not following the syntax of the Python, if you are not following the way the designer designed that code or that block or that logic, then obviously you will get syntax errors, right? The error which occurs because of invalid syntax. are called syntax errors. If you don't know the Python code or Python syntaxes, obviously you will get syntax errors. If you are new to Python programming, surely you'll get syntax errors. Of course, there are some cases, even though your syntax is correct, but still you are getting error. Those errors are called runtime errors. So in the next slide, I'll explain you what mean by runtime errors. Now, for example, what are the examples for the syntax errors? Simply, I'm taking here, okay, I'm writing here x equal to 10 if x equal to 10. Now indentation, print, hello. Now question for you, what is the error in this from any one of you? Yes, it's not valid syntax. What is the missing or what is the thing? It shows the error. Indentation, already I have given indentation. This is indentation. Now, any one of you. Just I'll give you 30 seconds of time or 10 seconds of time. 10 to 15. You try. Yeah. Srivani, very good. Hello is not given, wrong. Srivani is okay, fine. That's correct, Srivani. Okay. So, what is the syntax error here is I am missing colon here. At the end of this one, I missed colon. Automatically, it throws error. What is the error? Syntax error. Okay, syntax error. Now, once again, just check the code and tell me what is the answer. X equal to 10 if x equal to 10, print x. Now, what is the error? Yeah, intentionally I made an incorrect code. And what is the error? Asha, good. Monkam, good. Okay. Indent Teja, good. Raj Prasan, okay. Good. Indentation. Yes, obviously I must follow the syntax of if condition, but I didn't give indentation here. Actually, I need to write below this printer, but I have started from here, right? These are the syntax errors. Now, print simple what is the error in this? What is the error in this? You try.
Double quotation.
Yeah. You can use chat so that new string. Okay. Who is that one? I don't know the name. Asha, okay. Quotations. Come on. Okay. Double quotation, Teja. Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah. The error is actually we need to assign or we need to represent string with double quotes or single quotes. But here I used at the starting double quote, at the end single quote. So either I should use only double quotes or single quotes. That shows syntax error. This is one kind of syntax error. So it is from our end. If you are making any mistake, if you are getting any syntax error, it means you have typed a wrong code, a wrong syntax. Just keep that in mind. Now, second thing is runtime errors. Okay, runtime errors. This is the runtime errors. Okay, we have written good code. Okay, still it throwing error, right? So how can we handle that? Those errors, how can we handle? And those concept is called exception handling. Now, yeah. Before that, before going further, any doubts till now? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Fine. Runtime errors. Runtime errors are exception. These we need to exempt it. While executing the program, if something goes wrong because of end user input, programming language, not language, logic, memory problems, etc., then we'll get runtime error. Even though syntax is correct and you're obeying identifier rules and indentation rules, syntax rules, still if you get the error, then that error is called runtime error, because while executing, while running the program, you are getting the error, not because of the syntax, not because of the indentation, not because of the whatever the identifier rules, because of the end user input. Sometimes end user will give invalid inputs. For example, if you are adding, if you are asking enter number, instead of entering a number, if he is entering like the string 10, 10 is the string, not number 10. So it's error, it throws error because of user. So error, if it is due to programmer, that is you and me, programmer, because we are Python programmers. If the error is raised because of programmer, then syntax error. If the error is raised because of the user, end user or user, then it is runtime error. And if you are using invalid logic, then it throws error. Or some memory insertion like that. So whenever we are dealing with some kind of invalid operations, surely we'll get the runtime errors. What are the examples? Now, 10 by 0. 10 by 0. Actually, 10 by 0 is infinite, right? Something by 0 is nothing but infinite. But Python will not give the output as infinite. Simply, it throws error. What is the error? Zero division error. It is dividing by the 0 and it throws the zero division error. This is runtime error. Okay, so division by 0. This is runtime error. And second one, type error. Type means, remember, if you get type error, it means data type error. Here 10, fine. Here also 10, but here number 10, here string 10, and it is in the characters, even the 10 by 10. Still it throws type error because it is int 10, it is string 10. So that it throws type error. And the thing is, we are dealing with exception handling, and exception handling is applicable for runtime errors only, not for syntax errors. If there is, oops, what happened? Are you able to see the screen? Runtime errors slide. Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Syntax errors can be dealt with programmer only. So if you are typing, if you are designing one code, or if you are creating one code, if there is any syntax error, then that's your responsibility to overcome that. And of course, runtime errors also you can handle them. Handle them means it doesn't mean that you are completely removing this error. It's not like that. You are not going to removing this error, but you are going to skip this error, right? Now let's go move. Let's move forward. Exceptions. Okay. Let me handle this. These are the errors. Exception, right? System exit, generator exit, keyboard interrupt. So we want to discuss more about this thing. Keyboard interrupt means if you don't give some kind of input, that's from the user. Okay, we don't discuss more about that. Exceptions. What are the exceptions we have? Attribute error. Attribute error means if it is not available on that function or that module, then it shows attribute error. Arithmetic error, I have already told you, zero division error. Floating point division, floating point error. Whenever we are dealing with typecasting, we have seen floating point, overflow, right? EOF means if you miss parentheses. If I give two parentheses at the starting and I give only one, then I can get this error, EOF error. Name error, without executing or without mentioning that name. For example, if I use one N1 number 1, first I didn't execute this one directly. I've gone through logic. I executed this one. Python won't know, oh, what is NUM? I don't know NUM because you didn't execute this line. So automatically it throws name error. I'll show you lookup error. It means this lookup errors whenever we are going to deal with the list to follow all these things, because index error, out of range, key error, dictionary. If the key is not available, then automatically it throws key error. Right? OS error means whenever tomorrow we are going to discuss about the file handling, then you can see this file not found, interrupted, permission, timeout, like this. Value error. Value error means if I say 10 by 10, automatically it throws the value. Right? These are the different errors we are going to deal with. Okay. And see here, unwanted, an unwanted or unexpected event, unwanted or unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of the program execution. So 10 lines are there, 15 lines there, and there is some runtime error. Till now, Python will execute the entire code, but from here, it will not execute. Now, what we are going to do is simply we are going to skip that and let's make the normal flow of execution. So you can check here, unwanted, because error is we don't expect that and we don't want that also. unexpected, disturbs normal flow. Okay, what are the examples we have? Zero division, type error, value error, file not found error. That's what I have discussed in previous slide. Main objective of exception handling is graceful termination. What do you mean by that? Simply smooth, without any disturbance, without any unwanted things. Then that's the reason why we use exception handling. If you don't use exception handling, simply program will stuck at the error and will not get any kind of output. Now, I already have explained this slide and sweetie. Fine. Now, and how can we handle? Yeah, it is recommended to add the, or it is recommended to handle the exceptions. And the code, the logic which raises the error is called the risky code, because it is risky to our normal flow of execution. Then we need to skip this one if it is raising the an exception in for different inputs, right? Then we need to give except. So what is the syntax? Simply we are going to try. This is the keyword. Okay, first of all, try normal flow, try risky code. If it is okay, it is not throwing an error, then print. Okay, show the output. If it is throwing error, then accept that error, and print something. Print whatever the mistake you are going to do. I'm repeating once again, just focus on that. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use, you are telling to Python. Okay, Python, try this code first, try this risky code. If this risky code is good, it is not throwing any kind of error, fine, no problem. Then print the output. If the case is it is throwing error, okay, then what you are going to do, accept that error, accept whatever the error is, and just simply print something else, because error is raising or enter valid number, like that. Okay, try first this one. If it is throwing, then go for that. Try risky code. If it is normal execution, then fine, no problem. If it is throwing error, then accept. It reflects mean nothing but error, zero division error, right? Value error, like that. Then print the alternate code or the alternate statements. If there is a case, we can get multiple errors, zero division error, value error, type error, like this. For that, we can use except for multiple times. Except plus can be used for the multiple exception for the multiple errors. Okay, try, except, finally, or else, finally. These are the 4 very important keywords. Let me clear that. So try this code. If it is good, okay, fine. If it is raising error, accept that error. If it is not showing that, else another solution. And finally is nothing but it's a kind of it is not what we call, it's not it's not code, but simply whatever the things whatever the things we deal with the pass statement. Pass is nothing but simply it passes the code. That's it. Finally is also like that. There is no significance for the finally. So while we are doing while we are coding, you can see that. Okay, try this code. If it is error, then print something. Enter valid number or valid that one. Okay. Else code is print. Code is good. And finally, print exception is handle. By that you can print the answers. No, not yet finished. You can check here. And these are how we can write the syntax for that. If we are getting zero division error, except zero division, try that code and accept this statement, zero division error. Exactly, you need to write this one also. Okay, if you are using zero, small division or a small error, automatically it will not take that. It will not consider that. Of course, we can treat as message. And in the except block only, we can use multiple errors. Here I'm using zero division error, value errors in the parentheses. Or else you can see like this. There are 5 ways you can represent except block. And it is not recommended, already told you, but simply it's a clean code, that's it. Okay, to meet and clean the except block. And purpose final block is to maintain cleanup code. Cleanup code means one kind of conclusion. Okay, I think it is finished. Yeah, you can check here. Try risky code, handling code or printing statements, finally cleanup. It will be executed whether exception raised or not raised. If the exception is raised, it will be printed. If it is the exception is not raised, it will be printed. If either it is raised or not raised, finally it will be printed irrespective of about to. It is compulsory executable code whenever we use finally. It is not executed whenever the statement is exit. OS exit means operating system. It's a completely termination from the normal execution. Right, I didn't explain you about else. I'll explain you now. So let's take a break for 5 minutes, 7:45. Then we'll see the code. Very interesting part. So I'll intentionally raise the errors and I'll handle the errors. Okay, just stay on the line. Don't leave the class. Right. Let me stop the record.